It is so good. I just drooled on myself. What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Educated Barfly. I don't know if you can tell, but I've been watching a lot of Peter McKinnon lately. He is one of my favorite photography camera nerd channels. Although his channel has kind of changed. It's not really very camera nerdy anymore. It's a lot more like vloggy, like I'm gonna jump out of a plane or I'm gonna photograph Formula One kind of a thing. But he's still doing like what's in my camera kit 2026 kind of thing. And I am like having like a burgeoning interest in cameras and gear. So I've been like watching a lot of that on YouTube. Today we are back doing another episode on Double Chicken Please. And there's
doubling down on the double chicken.
Yes, we doubled down on the double chicken. Boo, that's right, Marius. I wanted to do this for two reasons. A, we did a reel on Instagram where we did a double chicken please cocktail called Cold Japanese Noodle. And then on top of that, I did a little bit of, like, we cut from our New York trip going to Double Chicken Please, and I was talking about what Double Chicken Please is, and I did such a terrible job that I got like totally dragged in the comments. And you know what? I should have been dragged. Like literally I said something like, I mean, you guys can go to Instagram and find it, but I said something like, Double Chicken Please is a place that makes cocktails from ingredients with other ingredients, or something like really stupid. This is like a couple of comments that I was like, this is what happens when you don't have, like when you're just trying to fill space in your essay or something like that type of thing, you know? And it was completely 100% fair. If I weren't me and I were you, I would drag me too. So I wanted a second shot at describing the Double Chicken Please bar because I have thought about it. And instead of just doing off the cuff, you know, kind of talking about a bar, I will describe what the bar does. Double Chicken Please is a bar that specializes in flavor hacking. Now, flavor hacking has been going on for millennia. It could be argued that adding spices into food whenever in history that was done is flavor hacking. But the flavor hacking that Double Chicken Please does, which I think another bar called Schmuck in New York kind of does the same thing, is that they make cocktails in a culinary way using ingredients that you wouldn't normally find in a cocktail, and then to mimic the flavor of things that are definitely not found in cocktails. So for instance, they have a cold pizza cocktail where they mimic the flavor of cold pizza in a drink. That is called flavor hacking. Today we're actually doing the cold pizza cocktail, and we're doing another cocktail called key lime pie. These are the two cocktails that when we did the reel on Instagram, these are the two cocktails that people called out, oh, you gotta try the cold pizza cocktail. It's amazing. And you gotta try the key lime pie cocktail. It's also amazing. A couple other cocktails were called out, but it was seriously like 50 or 60 people that called out these two cocktails. So they were like the overwhelming favorite. And I thought, you know what, why don't we try and make these? There are some recipes on the internet, but these recipes have to be adapted because the recipes of Double Chicken Please are proprietary and they do not allow anybody to know what they are. They did, however, do maybe it was like a Good Eats episode or something on YouTube where they let cameras in behind the scenes and they showed sous videing a bunch of stuff and kind of sort of described the process of what they're doing. So we know the technology that they're using and kind of what goes in it, but like not really, like they didn't like let any of their secrets out, but you can kind of infer. There are some people that came up with recipes that I think maybe are in the know, but these are not the exact recipes from Double Chicken Please. I have also taken a few liberties with each recipe as well, just using my know-how. The first cocktail is gonna be a lot of work. I'm just gonna let you know right now. And I know that this is like anathema to cocktail tube. People who like watch cocktails here, they don't wanna sous vide anything. They don't wanna put anything in the oven. We're gonna be doing all of that in this video. There's a lot of ingredients. I'm gonna show you how to make most of them. There will be recipes in the caption for everything so you can make it at home. Strap on in and let's get to it. So we're gonna do the cold pizza cocktail first. And the first thing that we're gonna do is just like the easiest part, which is like Oolong Tea Honey. So I have 40 milliliters of wildflower honey here. I made some oolong tea. How do you describe oolong tea? It's like halfway between a black tea and a green tea, right?
Yeah, it almost feels like it looked like rice.
Yeah, well, you know that toasted rice
Yeah.
Tea? It smells like that toasted rice tea. I'm not sure how much like flavor is gonna be imparted into the honey, because honey is really strong in flavor, and oolong tea is like pretty delicate in flavor. So yeah, I don't know how much of that is gonna really survive, but you know. Anyway, we're gonna do a 3-to-1 here. No, sorry, 2-to-1 here. So we are gonna go up to, what do we got? We got 60 mils here? Oh, so we got 40 mils. So we're just gonna add up to the 60 mil mark. We don't need a lot, so I'm just making a little tiny bit. And what's nice about making honey syrup is that the water will sit on top of the honey because it's so viscous. So you can actually measure out exactly how much very easily. Then we're just gonna mix this together. And you know, you wanna do this with warm or hot water because if I've said this once, I've said this a million times. Water will seize honey syrup and make it very difficult to mix. It will turn it into like an amber. It's very difficult to mix it. So just do this with warm or hot water. Okay. Maybe the oolong is softening it a little bit. Now we are going to have to, I guess, break out the sous vide. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I learned about making this. Basically tequila with Parmesan Reggiano and like they call it burnt toast, but it's just like very, very toasted toast. This is basically what is called a fat wash, but we're gonna do this in a little bit of a different way because what we do is we grate the cheese, we put it into like a little bag, we're gonna sous vide it. I'm actually gonna vacuum seal it, although you can just do this with a Ziploc bag and you don't need to vacuum seal it. You can just, I don't have a Ziploc bag to show them the method, but there's a way of like basically you take a Ziploc bag, you put all your ingredients in there, you zip it up until there's just a little bit there and you just use the water pressure to push the air out and then seal it and then keep it in the sous vide. Before I had a vacuum sealer I did that for a long time and it works really, really well. So what we're gonna do basically is like Parmesan Reggiano has like a really high melting point. It doesn't really melt that well. So we're gonna put this at 135 degrees for 2 hours and we're gonna kind of semi-melt it, but we're also gonna put bread in there. Now here's the deal. While it's in there, the bread is going to soak up a ton of the tequila. So usually what you would do when you're fat washing something with cheese is you put it in the heat, you know, it gets hot, it imparts the flavor in there, it kind of liquefies the cheese, and then you put it in the freezer. But you can't put this directly in the freezer because you will trap the tequila in the bread. And you don't want to do that. So what we're gonna do is we're going to put the tequila in there. We're gonna put the bread and the cheese in there. We're gonna sous vide it for 2 hours. Then we're going to process it out with a nut milk bag, squeeze everything out of that bread that we can possibly get out of it. And then we're gonna take that and put it in the freezer. And then we're gonna get rid of the rest of the cheese so that we get all of the good tequila out so that we don't waste a ton of tequila or make super delicious tequila cheese bread. I'm just gonna stack the ingredients up right here on the side as we get them to show you how much goes into this. This is gonna be a lot. We're gonna use Don Fulano tequila. Now here's the deal. Don Fulano tequila is expensive-ish tequila. Is very, very good. This is what Double Chicken Please uses apparently in this cocktail. If you do not want to use the Don Fulano, I do not blame you. You can use other tequila, but just know you'll be changing the flavor profile of the cocktail a little bit because not all tequilas taste the same. It's not like vodka or something. You know, they all have the very distinct flavor profiles depending on how they were made. So just keep that in mind. And then Blanco tequilas can be lightly aged as well. Depending on where the agave is and the soil, they're all very different. Just keep that in mind when you think about it. Okay, don't worry. The next cocktail that we're doing after this is a lot less process heavy. So like more straightforward. We need 30 grams of cheese. I feel like I did this like a cretin. Just done this on a plate.
You could also just like grated it straight into the...
I know, but I do that, but it's like so messy. Like, yeah. I was doing that, but it's just like, I don't know. Maybe it's because when I was like testing, I was like kind of prepping it by eye and I was doing it this way and cut to, it's like way less messy.
Yeah. It can't be more messy than that.
Yeah, you know what? So, I don't know why I do some things that I do. I just do them. I don't know why, Marius. I don't know why. It's just, that is just the way that I am. Take it or leave it, love it or hate it.
I know.
That is the way that I am. I am what I am. We've got our cheese. We need our bag. Actually, before we do this, man, we should go do the bread, no? Because that's actually gonna take a little second. Mm-hmm. Come on. Bring the camera. They use sliced bread, but I'm gonna use a brioche bun here. And then we're just putting it in the oven at 400 degrees because it's gonna toast it really nicely. You know what we don't have though? We don't have an oven mitt in the studio. So we're gonna have to use, I use these.
Yeah, well, it works.
Yeah, ish. If you don't hold it for a very long time, it works. Now we just gotta wait for it to get dark. Here we go. Super easy. Ready? 30 grams Parmesan Reggiano. I'm using a 24-month aged Parmesan. Just gonna cut this up like so, throw it in there. I'm using all the bread. We're gonna do 300 mils of Blanco tequila. And then what we're gonna do is pour our tequila in. So now we're gonna vacuum seal this. And we have our vacuum sealed bag of, somebody in the comments is gonna be like, that looks like vomit. And you know what, you're not wrong. Delicious, delicious vomit. Just put it in like that. I like to try and situate the bag where there's like a little hole, like where the circulating water comes out. I just do that and I just let it sit there for a couple hours. If you don't like the idea of BPA-free plastic and food, which a lot of people don't, you can actually do this in a jar as well. But you need to put a little fermentation weights in the jar or it will float. But you can do that. You can put a little fermentation weight in there, put everything in the jar, seal it up and put it in a jar and it will sous vide perfectly. After it sous vides for 2 hours, you put this in the refrigerator because the bread, although the bread has like really almost dissolved, it like dissolved the bread basically. But I don't want any of the tequila trapped in the bread, so we are going to, I mean, this is just gonna be kind of gross, guys. It's gonna look gross, it's gonna taste good. I mean, I'll be the first to say that it doesn't look very appetizing. So this still has cheese in it, and we're gonna have to freeze it before it's 100% done. But after all this prep, I still have not tasted this. Look how much is trapped in the bread. Mm-hmm. Someone reached out to me on social media and said that they infused toast into some spirit and that they were like so unhappy because the toast soaked up all of the spirits. And I'm like, did you put it in a milk, like in a nut milk bag and squeeze out all the, like why would you leave that on the table? Okay, pretty much done. Back in the jar it goes. And now we're gonna go freeze this so that it gets rid of all the rest of the cheese. All right, into the freezer it goes. Okay, we're just gonna be doing this while we wait for that. I love Campari tomatoes for this. Tomato water making is incredibly easy. That's the next component to the cocktail, so let's get it done. All right, so we're just going to just cut these, just have them like so. And you can do as much or as little as you want. I kind of do this by eye too. I don't really like measure. I don't know, I might as well just make a bunch, dude. I use tomato water in cooking all the time. So just do this. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of salt. Just like to use some high quality salt, whatever kind of salt you want. I got the Maldon salt, might as well just do that. Add in 2 pinches of salt. All right. That's it. Then what we're gonna do, this is a lot like when you clarify a cocktail. We've got a little filter here. I love this little filter. I think this is actually a maple syrup filter. It's kind of interesting. So anyway, I like it because it has these little things and it's like a very big filter, very easy. And you don't have to like double, triple filter things. So what you do, you just throw that in here like so. It's gonna be cloudy to begin with, but once you start to see it run clear, so it's gonna start running clear, you're just gonna switch it, add this back into that, and then it'll run clear. This is gonna take a really long time, so put it in the fridge and just let it sit there or put it on your counter. I'm kind of paranoid about bugs, so I always put it in the fridge. We've got our tomato water processed here, and as you can see, we've separated the tomato water from the tomato. This is what it looks like. You can actually take this stuff here, put it in a dehydrator or put it in your oven at like 100 degrees and dehydrate this into a tomato powder, and then you can use this to add umami to like dishes. Or you can also use it, you can like spoon it into cocktails, shake, and add a little umami flavor. Here's our tomato water. And then we're just gonna set that aside. We're not gonna use this much, but you know, honestly, you can never have too much of this in your fridge. You can use this for so many different things, like cooking wise. I think we have all of our components. I really hope that this is good because this was a lot of work to prep. So it better be fantastically good. The recipe calls for a touch of lime. So I'm gonna do like 2.5 mils. Boop. It's a pretty low volume cocktail, so we don't make it too limey. So we're gonna do 5 mils of the Oolong Honey, 10 mils of the Lime Basil Cordial, 40 mils tomato water, 30 mils of the burnt toast Parmesan tequila, egg white. Shake. large format ice, low dilution, high amount of texture. Pony glass. It's like perfect for this pony glass. I don't know what the garnish is, so we're gonna go garnishless. That tastes impressively like cold pizza, and it's everything that you want in a cocktail. There's a little sweet lilt on the end of it, but the lime really balances that out and you get that little tartness. But what really comes through is the tomato and basil is like punching through the flavor profile. And another thing that's pretty impressive is that you do not lose the flavor of the tequila in this. What's nice about the cheese tequila is that the cheese really mellows the tequila out and you get some of those sharp flavors from the Parmesan, but then you also get this roundness of flavor that comes from the toast. I'm not gonna say the brioche put a lot of flavor into it, but it definitely gave it this rounded texture that's really, really nice. Then the egg white makes it nice and fluffy and just like really, really decadent. There it is, guys, the cold pizza. All right, this next cocktail is the key lime pie. Double Chicken Please's key lime pie cocktail is a take on the Ramos Gin Fizz. This is gonna be a lot less prep than the last one, but there is gonna be a little prep. And the first thing that we're gonna do here is we need to make winter melon syrup, which you can get on Amazon. It is this interesting winter melon kind of a sugar block. This is what it looks like for you guys to buy on Amazon. And we're just gonna grate it in and then put equal parts hot water in there and you have your syrup. This might take a while. You might wanna cut winter syrup into the thing. And then we're gonna do equal amount of water here.
Ooh, it just melted.
Yeah, it did just melt, didn't it? It's a very little bit of water. It's like we're just making a tiny bit of syrup here. It's like winter melon tea, like sugar, but it's lightly sweet and it has this toasted scent that's like this aroma of like toasted. It's really nice, dude. It's like a really subtle flavor. We're gonna do 1 egg white, prep our egg white. Well, luckily, that's why we do things in a different tin. So that little bit of, let's pull that right out. Just gonna do a scant 1 ounce of lime juice. So like just under 30 mil. We're gonna do ½ ounce or 15 mil of the winter melon syrup. We're gonna do another ½ ounce of rich simple syrup. 3/4 ounce of heavy cream. I'm gonna do a healthy ½ ounce of the plum, I suppose, from Empirical. And 1 ounce of gin. I'm using the Kenobi gin, which I love. Marry these, give it a shake. You know, I just emulsified the egg a little bit. And I'm gonna bring out my secret weapon. All right. Hand whipping heavy cream is a pain in the ass. This will shorten the work by a long stretch. And the other thing is that you gotta hold it like kind of halfway in and out. I'm just gonna use 2 pieces of cold draft. I mean, that whipped it good. I think this is the perfect volume glass for a Ramos, bro. And now, a little soda water. Now, Double Chicken Please has a stencil, but I don't have a stencil. And I think it's maybe like matcha or something on top. Or it would actually be a lot better if they did like a stencil with lime zest or powdered lime. This we should have done. Here it is. Let's give it a little. It is a revelation. Amazing. Tastes exactly like key lime pie. What's funny is that anytime I see a key lime pie cocktail, I always see people kind of miss the graham cracker element. That is where this winter melon syrup comes in. It gives you that graham cracker element. So you get the lime, You get the creaminess. It's like really, really punchy. That plum, I suppose, with the lime and the heavy syrup to just like really balance it out. But that plum, I suppose, mixing with the lime like amplifies the lime and gives it this nice texture. And then also, I think the plum is conspiring with the winter melon syrup to give you that graham cracker flavor. It is so good. I cannot overstate how good it is. Amazing. Double chicken, please. Does it again. There it is, the key lime pie. I am what I am. You probably you don't even know that reference because you're a foreigner.
No, it's Popeye.
No, okay, you do know that reference even though you're a foreigner.
I mean, he is a sailor man. He gets around.
He what?
He's a sailor man. He gets around.
You know he's based on a real guy, right? He's based on an actual sailor.
That ate a lot of spinach?
Well, I don't know if he ate a lot of spinach, but look up the inspiration.
Like
look it up.
Arms?
He did, and he also had that same face, that like weird like underbite lip eating itself face.
Are you thinking about the Robin Williams movie now?
No. Look. You want to see? He is a real guy. Here you go, Frank Rocky Feigl, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this was like when he was older, but like actually, that is Robin Williams as Popeye. Mm-hmm. That is Rocky Feigl. I think Rocky Feigl actually looks more like Popeye, though. Anyway. Today's Educated Barfly video is sponsored by The Educated Barfly. I don't know if you guys know this. Some of you do, some of you don't, but we've got lots of really good products in our store, and we are constantly adding to those products. One of our very new additions, freeze-dried garnishes. So whereas a dehydrated garnish gives you sort of like a more tea-like caramelized scent, the freeze-dried version of that is a little bit brighter, and then all the sugars when you freeze dry it come to the surface, and so you get a very bright, fresh orange flavor. These guys have been a real big hit since we put them in the store. We get lots of orders for them. We also have a little bit of glassware. We have our now kind of iconic Nick and Nora style glass that we did in a regular and honeycomb pattern. This is a 6-ounce glass, kind of Nick and Nora style. And we have a brand new, more coupe style glass. It's 7 ounces. We also have the honeycomb pattern in this as well. So if you're a fan of the channel and you want to help us out, this is a very good way to help the channel and then also get something out of it. A lot of this is the glassware that you see in our videos, and so you'll be able to recreate the same cocktails that we make in the studio at home with the best possible recipes, the best possible instructions, and now the best possible glassware and garnishes.